to the Facetime with God podcast. I'm your host, Kim Farrar, and yes, you have tuned in to the right place because we're bringing Christ to the culture and the culture to Christ. Because the gospel's not for old times, it's for all times. So we've got relevant topics, real people, and we're starting right now. So, what's good, fam? Kay Farrar here with another edition of FaceTime with God, and I am so excited. I have one of my former coworkers of Miss Marcy's Homemades, one of her several businesses, and we're going to hear all about it today. So, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
so glad to have you.
Absolutely.
I am excited about this. I am so excited. And so we're going to kick this off with a little icebreaker, and you've got your little voting paddle there. So these are just, we're trying to figure out what are some of Miss Marcy's favorites.
Okay.
And so if it would be a favorite of yours, you can give the thumbs up. If not, you know what to do.
All right.
So how about this? A walk on a mountain trail. Gotcha. How about a day at the beach?
Mm.
Okay. River rafting. Okay. Going to a live basketball game. All right. Going to a live football game.
Kind of, just because my husband makes me go.
Okay, because you're okay. A day shopping. All right, there we go. All right, a day working in Miss Marcy's kitchen. All right. Hey,
Yes.
that's what we're talking about, and that's why we are here today. So,
Yes.
Miss Marcy's Homemades, tell me a little bit about how that all came about.
So after or during the pandemic, and we started making the applesauce, and people started inboxing me and say, "Hey, I like to order some." I said,
Okay.
"Really?" Let me go ahead and make a real quick Wix website. So I made a website, I made a Facebook page. People started ordering. It was right around the beginning of the holiday that year.
Wow.
And so I set up a business really quickly. Like when I say quickly, Ms. Marcy's Homemades. And I did all the business filing. And then as it started growing, I began to understand food.
Okay.
And I said, okay, let me legitimize this a little bit more by getting the proper training
Okay.
and certification. So I kind of went that route, learning a lot more about it, and here we are today.
Or
Yeah.
some will
And
pop
so,
up like a
4
message
years
on Facebook or
in,
something.
to
It'll
be
pop up.
shipped all over the
Well,
Commonwealth,
no,
out
it
of
pops
state.
up. So if it pops
How
up, because
has
my phone
the
is recording the
momentum gone
screen,
for you?
it is
And
pops
so,
up on
like
my
any
screen.
business,
It
it
can
has
record that
its
too.
ebbs
So
and
then I have
flows,
to
ups
start
and
over.
downs. I've shipped all over the United States. I've shipped to Africa. So I've shipped to other
Wow.
countries. Holidays starting around July through January is really super busy because one, you're at the beginning. Apple season is August, September. So people start pre-ordering, thinking about holidays. So it has its moments. I do have some regular customers who order from all over the U.S. So they're like monthly, almost subscription-like orders.
Wow.
So it has its moments. And then I'm in stores. So also I'm a wholesaler. So not just manufacturing and retail, but I also wholesale.
That is so awesome. So your training, that helped you scale it in terms of the wholesale piece, or you just figured it out on your own? Had a mentor? How did that work?
So that's a good question. The training helped me to understand food, and it helped me to make sure that I was keeping everyone safe and healthy. That was the most important part for me. Is I didn't want anyone getting sick.
Right.
So I had to understand canning and jars and lids and the spice interactions and what made sense. As far as the wholesale and retail, it was understanding the market. So how do I maximize on the amount of time I put into making applesauce?
Okay.
1 and 2 jars are great for retail, but when you're looking at a case of apples may make 50 jars of applesauce, how do I move that quickly through the cycle? And so that's when I started wholesaling, and right now we're in about maybe 8 or 9 local stores and a few in Charlottesville, Pennsylvania, and we're definitely looking to grow and expand into other states.
So are you in Kroger?
We're not in the big box stores yet, so
Okay.
the process for that is very different.
Okay.
And so you have to go through a lot of other things to get into stores. It's not as simple as going to the store and say, "Hey, can you sell my applesauce?"
Right, I understand.
So it's
that.
a
Okay.
process for review. Buyers have to kind of come on board, things like that. So that's the goal.
Okay.
But because I still work my full-time job, I have to be able to scale where it makes sense.
Right.
One thing I've learned is not to move too quickly where you can't sustain the business, because it can affect your reputation and your brand. So I have to do what I can manage and what makes sense. So
Yeah.
not quite ready for that yet.
That is so. I would listen. I am a fan. I am a fan. Look, Simon, if I need to go to Kroger and write every week, I would like some Miss Marcy's homemade.
I would love that.
Like her homemade.
But that's
have
what
you
helps.
Talked to Miss Marcy. I have her number. Like
that. Believe it or not, things like that do help, especially small business owners, getting the word out and for them to see the demand for stores, understanding what's important to them. And I'm learning that as far as the move of products through the store and how they view them. So Shark Tank has taught me a little bit. I watch it and I listen to the language and say, oh, that's what I need to do. So I'm just learning. You want to learn the business.
Got you. Yep. Well, I will be going to my local Kroger and I will be asking for Miss Marcy's homemades. Trust and believe. All right. So that's business. Would you say that's business number one, or how many? Tell us about the rest of what Miss Marcy is doing.
So that is business number one as far as kind of the primary business, but going back, I did start a nonprofit, College and Career for Youth, also known as KAKY, K-A-K-Y. And I started at, this is year 20. Wow. And it started as me working with young people to help them prepare for college. A lot of young people don't know how to apply for college and grants and things like that. But as it started growing, then the needs shifted from not just college prep, but now we're working on workforce development. We're dealing with teen pregnancy and parenting youth. We're dealing with young people who need mental health services, those that are dealing with trauma now. So bullying, things like that. So now the services that we offer are more educational, and we also do supportive services. So we partner probably with well over 50 or 60 agencies and grassroots partners in the area to provide services that help youth and families. We fed lots of youth. I've been going to housing communities with a truck, and we'll do, hey, come and shop right here and pick up what you want. You know, we do a lot of different things in that space. Yeah,
I need to talk to you. I definitely need to talk to you about some of the things we want to do. All right, so Miss Marcy's Homemades, the nonprofit, KAKY. All right, now what else?
We have Cozy Me Crochet Design.
Okay.
So this was my hobby turned business.
Wow.
I'm a crocheter.
Okay.
I started when I was 12, and I put it down. And then I picked it up maybe in the last 3 years. I picked it back up.
Okay.
I don't even know what made me do it, honestly. Wow. And I started crocheting blankets, and then next thing you know, hats. Now I'm crocheting couture gowns and 3-piece suits and pants and blazers and you name it. Clothing is kind of my niche. I do other things, blankets, socks, things like that, scarves.
Okay.
But yeah, so I started crocheting clothes, and so why not? One thing I've learned is to take my knowledge, and I like to make it part of my legacy. It's not just something that I do, but I want to put it in a way where my family, my children, my potential grandchildren can say that was my grandma.
Wow.
And so I made it a business. Okay. And I'm working on a book.
And do your kids do any of these with you so far?
My kids kind of help.
Okay.
They do, like my daughters either help with applesauce, or they'll help me with delivery, or if it's one of those situations where I say, okay, girls, I need your help. I have an order for 60 cases of applesauce, all hands on deck. Type of thing. They'll step up. Same with the crochet.
Okay.
You know,
so they can crochet?
No, they don't crochet. They'll wear it though.
Okay. Okay.
Their friends will wear it. Their friends are like, hey, get your mom to make me so and so. And can I order this from your mom?
Wow.
So they're definitely big supporters of the crochet.
Wow. And the thing I love about it is you're a mother, you work full time, and you have a nonprofit and 2 businesses, and you're writing a book, and your smile is like from ear to ear. It's like you're just so joyful and happy. How is it that you handle all of this?
I think one is making time for me. I understand my limitations. And so when people say you're doing too much, I say, well, no, I think you're basing it on what you see on Facebook. I have a lot of times I sit in a chair just like this in my sewing room, and I may binge out on Grey's Anatomy for the 5th time. I take time and I'm planful, but I have learned the art of no.
Okay.
I've learned the art of no, not quite yet. You know, I don't feel the need to have to jump on everything that's presented to me. And that's growth. Because as a small business owner, you want everything. You want the money. You want to do it now. You want to do it now. But it does you a disservice if you're exhausted, if you're not enjoying it, if it becomes a chore. So I've learned just to fall back a little bit. Say, you know, I'm going to take a moment for me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned was, you know, making sure things work financially. So the mathing thing. How do you do that?
Woo, buddy. So it has its moments. It's looking really holistically at your budget. And that was something I didn't do from the beginning. That was a huge mistake. When Miss Marcy's homemade happened, it happened. When I tell you the door kicked in,
wow, that's
it
crazy.
did. It was nonstop applesauce, shipping, boxes, trying to make labels, designing labels. And it was just me. So I make the applesauce, I can it, I package it, I label it, I take orders, I'm printing labels, I ship it, I create the website. It was really just me. And it got to a point where I said, okay, I need to be able to hire someone, but I don't make enough money to do that, right? Because every dime that I make goes back into the business. So there's no so much salary for myself. But I found a way. So that's when your partnerships are important.
Okay.
Working with the workforce center to get an employee, and they'll pay that person to work for me.
Wow.
I'm working with the
Never
school
heard
system.
Of that.
Yeah, the Virginia Career Works also has they have paid work experience where they'll have people. You may have someone that you want to hire. You can send them to them, enroll in their program, work with them logistically. Once they're on the books, then they can come back and work for you, and they pay that person directly.
Never heard
And
of
so
that.
that's what I do.
So you do have employees
I
that
have
way?
one. I have
Okay.
one as my administrative assistant, which has been a huge help.
Wow.
Because she helps keep the contract straight. She helps with the email correspondence and little things like that I may forget. Hey, don't forget to order labels. Hey, don't forget to do this. She'll make a list. Here's some things you need to do.
Wow.
Thank you for keeping me straight. Now I'm looking at the next level of, okay, I'm going to have to start really training someone to make applesauce. I work with a co-packer.
Okay.
And so
co-packer.
The money thing, you have to look at how you want to finance. I don't have a small business loan. I'm afraid of debt.
I don't do that either.
So I have to really do things that I can manage. And so I have to make the money make money. And so I reinvest. I don't have investors. My husband has been a huge investor. My mom as well.
Okay.
You know, my mom always looks for her dividends. So. But I just do what I can until I get to a point where I can really jump out there. Working with the NBL has been such a huge help.
Wow.
They've opened doors to opportunities for funding I didn't know were there. So I always encourage people, go to the NBL meetings. You'll learn a lot versus just Google. Chamber of Commerce meetings. You learn a lot about opportunities that you don't know are available. And so those are the things I've started doing. So you have to take time to educate yourself.
Yeah. So do you have any mentors for you? Do you have any mentees who are following you? How does that work? And I know that even that sounds like extra time. So is that in the mix for you, or in in the plans, in the works?
So I would love a mentor.
Okay.
I've been seeking a mentor. I've had a lot of people who claim to be mentors, but I haven't seen the mentorship in action.
Gotcha.
So you have to be very careful when you're seeking a mentor, someone who has what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking for someone who makes applesauce,
Mhm.
but maybe you understand the food business. Maybe you understand marketing. Maybe there's some things where I need help. So one, knowing what you need. Mine was distribution, understanding how do I mass produce and get into the bigger stores. So I need to find a mentor who can get me there, who can direct me. I don't need someone to tell me about fruit. I kind of got that. So understand what you need, and seek that out. Talk to people, go to these meetings, have the meetings, even if it's a Zoom. I mean, I do a lot of meetings on my phone.
Have you thought about? I know you mentioned Shark Tank. Have you thought about going on there?
I would love to at some point, but listening, you have to understand the financials inside and out.
Yes, you do.
You have to understand not just your ROI, but your cost per and what your market valuation is. How did you come up with that? You have to understand your target market, your competitors. It's a lot to understand. So to go on Shark Tank, I want to make sure I know this industry inside and out. And so that's my goal for 2025 is to immerse myself in food manufacturing. In particular, the snack area. So those are the things I need to do for myself. And we'll see which way it goes. But that would be really cool one day.
It would be. It would be. Everything you do is so interesting, so exciting. The crochet, the applesauce, the volunteering, the nonprofit. You're doing so much. Now, also, NBC 12. Tell us a little bit about that.
So that's kind of in addition to my nonprofit. I started partnering with just different news outlets, kind of as their social media safety expert. So anything that impacts youth in the community, typically it started off as bullying and cyberbullying and sexting and then sex trafficking and all these different things. And then, of course, because I do social media safety anyway, I decided that I wanted to do more. So they brought me in a couple of times and said, hey, let's do a social media segment every month. Can we do that? And they said, that's a good idea. And so now we do a monthly segment where I talk about different aspects of social media, use of apps, best practices, not just for children, but also for adults. You'd be surprised at things that we don't consider when we're on social media that could be impacting your life on the back end, and you just don't see it happening.
So how about you? So do you know all about some of the little cyber, I don't know what you want to call it, tricks and loopholes and things they have as far as like tracking you and all of the insides of, it's so funny because I'm redoing a house. And my contractors, the majority of them are Hispanic. And so I'm talking back and forth with them like this in my phone. And then the next day I turn my TV on and it's like, hablamos español and blah, blah, blah.
The dishwasher before it's
and that's what I do. And that's how I say it. But then I come in here and now my TV is speaking back to me like that.
Ya sabes.
And they're listening all the time because I had cut it off a minute ago.
So there are some security settings that you probably want to have in place so that it does not do that. There are settings you can turn off because your phone can hear you.
Yes.
Your smart televisions can hear you.
Yes.
You can turn those settings off. They're automatically on. So there's a lot of different tricks to going into the back end to disable certain features that come on.
And you know how to do all that stuff?
I do some of that. Some of that I research. Some of that I do advise parents to do, especially when they're looking like even gaming systems, things like that that may not go into sleep mode and your child goes to bed if they don't turn it off or if the camera's still on. Wow. It could be flipped on.
Somebody can tap into it.
There was a big thing at one time where there were some people watching children sleep. Wow. And the children didn't know they were being watched when they were asleep. Wow. And then they would just sit there and watch them all night long sleep. It's a lot of it's just so much in that space. So I'm constantly talking about different things.
Yeah. So all these things are out there. People can go for cybersecurity for youth or whatever and go to NBC12's site and they can pull up the different tips and things that you put out there. Or how do people find it?
So for NBC12, they can search just by my name and they can see all the different segments that I've done. I also have them on my YouTube channel. Okay. Marcy Thornhill. Okay. You can find on my YouTube channel. So it's a lot of different places. Social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Okay.
Instagram, you're on TikTok. Instagram. Okay, Instagram. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been so amazing to have you on and to hear all that you're doing. You will be hearing from me because there are a lot of things I want to partner with you on, and I need an outfit. I need something crocheted by September, so we'll talk. So we might be able to get at least a top. Maybe we'll see.
I think we can get a cute top.
May see. But last word, what would you like to leave us with?
I think just in general, when you're thinking about business, I want you to really ensure that it's one thing you enjoy. A lot of people start businesses because they see other people doing well, or they think that's the new trend, or they want to get on the bandwagon. Things like that tend not to last. Find your niche, something you enjoy. I enjoy crocheting. Who knew people would order? I made applesauce. Who knew someone would want to buy applesauce because it was something I enjoyed doing and it turned into a business. And most importantly, do not go into business thinking you're going to make millions right away. You're going to get rich. You're going to do all these things. Do not do that because you set yourself up for failure. Be planful, be patient. It will come if you stay consistent. I have been very consistent. Year 4, most businesses don't last 5 years. This is year 4. And I'm still here. I have my moments. Wow. But I'm determined this is going to be part of my retirement. Like, this is a retirement strategy. So I'm setting the foundation so I can walk into it very easily.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
So I can't wait to come to your shop.
Please do.
So we can do some on-site. So
yes.
We will get that on the calendar.
Please do. Come on out.
Trust and believe. I'm trying to figure out how we can swing by the other day.
I'll make some applesauce. Come on, make some applesauce. I do applesauce.
I was like, I got a little free time. Maybe I come make some applesauce.
I do applesauce making classes. I do. I've had people come in like 2 or 3. I think I had like 6 ladies came as a group, and they all had their little aprons. I had everything laid out, and they all left with their own custom jar. They picked the fruits that they want in their applesauce. I blended it. They had blenders and everything. I let them make their own applesauce.
Okay, I got a ladies group thing coming up in September also.
Yeah.
And maybe you can be one of our stops.
Yeah.
And we could do the applesauce.
And I do have groups that come and shop. So they do private shopping. Okay. If you said we want to stop by and shop, then I'll do a tasting. Wow. So I set up the applesauce and I make cider. So I do different flavors of cider. Hibiscus, mint, peach, strawberry, blueberry.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. And you can do a tasting and I have snacks. And yeah, and they sit down and talk and laugh and eat and sample. And it's just cute. I do that too.
Yeah. You will definitely be hearing from me.
Yes.
So thank you, Miss Marcy. Yay! This was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Colossians 3:23 and 24. And whatever you do, do it with all your heart as unto the Lord and not unto men, knowing that it's of the Lord that you shall receive the reward of the inheritance, because you serve the Lord Christ.